So one of the key features of Express Report is the report designer. It supports a variety of report types that can be quite simple to very complex. So let's go ahead and take a look at the basic report types that it supports. So first, let's open up the organizer. And then let's choose a query, a data source, which we made a little bit earlier. And this is a query that we made. Go ahead and click Create Report. And these are the 5 types that the report types that we support. Let's first take a look at the simple columnar layout. And pick several fields that we want to put in the report, and just hit next. And in this wizard, we just go ahead and say done, to get the most basic layout without formatting. Let's go take a look at the preview. Use live data, which will basically query the database. And since this is a parameterized report, we have to choose the parameters. In this case, it's the start date and end date, date range. Go ahead and hit OK, and here's the most basic layout, simple columnar layout. The next thing we want to look at is the summary break report, which is basically a report with grouping. So let's go ahead and say change data mapping, and then go back a couple of steps, and here we'll select the summary break report type and keep the same fields that we selected earlier, and go ahead and hit next. We'll select 2 groupings here, order ID and category name, and also want to apply sum to quantity as well as sales. And let's go ahead and hit done, and here you see the report is grouped by order ID and category. Let's go ahead and take a look at the preview again. Select date range, and notice that the report is grouped by first order ID, and then the next level is the category name, and you have these subgroup aggregations at each level. So the next report layout type we want to show is the crosstab layout, which is also known as the pivot table. So let's go ahead and again go to change data mapping, and go back a couple of steps and choose crosstab. And we want to show basically category by region, category of product by region. So let's just remove a couple of fields that we don't need, and actually want to bring back region. So now we have category, region, and sales, and hit next. Want to say that we do a row break on category name and a column break on regions, and then we want to choose sum as the aggregation for sales. And for this demo, we just leave all the options at the default configuration, and then just go ahead and hit done. Hit yes, and now we have a let's see, we need a cross tab. We also want to show the value, make it visible here, and then we hit done. And now we have a the basic cross tab layout. Click on the preview button, and we'll get the layout of the cross tab report. So we choose another day range. You can see that the data changes and the layout is expanded. So the next thing we'll look at is the master details layout. Just like the summary break layout, the master detail layout also allows you to group data. It also allows you to automatically add column fields to the group header section, creating a one-to-many relationship in the layout. So let's go ahead and do change data mapping, and then again go back a couple of steps and select the master detail report. And here we want to actually add several fields. So maybe let's go ahead and remove them and start all over. So we want to say we want to add order ID, company, quantity, unit price, as well as sales. So basically I also want a product name to be included, and I want to just move this up a couple of places, and we'll go ahead and hit next. In the master details layout, you need to specify a master section and detail section. And for the master section, you need to have a primary key, which is basically where you can key on the grouping. So in this case, we have order ID as a primary key, and we'll select two fields as the fields for the master section, and you can have basically as many fields as you want for the master section. Like in typical invoice, you probably have, like, address of the company and so on. So let's go ahead and click next and let's add a report title. So in this example, we're going to show you like some of the default formats that we allow you to use. So let's go ahead and say this is the order details report, and let's also check the page number. Say number of pages on the lower left hand corner, and also add date in the lower right corner, and then we hit next, and here are like several styles that are that you can choose from. You know, if you don't want to like do detailed formatting yourself, you can use this as a quick style that apply to your report. So let's hit done, and then here's your master details report, where here you have the sort of the group header, the master section, order ID, and company name, and then the details. And as I said, you know, like if you have more fields you want to put in the master section, you can do so, and you know, make your query that include those fields. And you can say you know, put in, say for example, company name and phone address and phone number and so on. You can save the report, and it's actually ready for publishing. So let's go ahead and save this and call this quick start 4. Okay, and choose a folder you want to save it to. So just save it to the quick start examples folder. Okay, and it says it's saved successfully. The last report, the layout type we want to show you is the mailing labels. So you can actually make a bunch of mailing labels. Let me go ahead and find a query that actually gives me a bunch of addresses, so I can make the mailing labels. So let me go ahead and use the ship to info here. Address, city, state, zip. So this is pretty typical yeah, address information for doing mailing labels. Let's go ahead and this is actually a data view query. So let's go ahead and oops, spell wrong. Go ahead and save this query, and I'm going to go ahead and make the report with the mailing labels layout. I'll select all the fields and done. And this is basically the information you have for the labels. I only want the company name and the address, so I'm going to delete these fields here by hitting the control key. When I click, I'm able to select all these fields, and just go ahead and delete them. And then I'm going to select these data fields and actually try to move them to the left. And now you can see that I actually have address information that I can make mailing labels with. So let me go ahead and adjust some of the spacing. So this one I want to make it a little bit longer, so same for this one. This field, I actually want to move it to next to city. So I have city, state, and then this is the zip code, and I want to kind of line them up like this. And I want to move this boundary up a little bit, and So this is the basic label, and it will, when I preview it, you will see that it automatically try to put a number of labels across, and also try to cover the whole page. So let me go ahead and do the preview. Live data. Okay, so I guess I need to do a little bit of adjustment. Yeah, so here I want to actually make this one sort of, cut out the white space here. And now I have 3 addresses per row, basically, as you can see. Here we have 3, and then the next 3, and so on. I also want to make this align to the left, so you just go ahead and do that, and do a left alignment. And now when I preview, you can see the labels are sort of more lined up. So that basically concludes our demo on the different report types. Thank you for watching. Some address information, I can make a mailing label list.